Okay, let's try some other constraints. So I'm going to make a new sketch. I'm going to select the front plane again. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but eventually, right? Sketch plane, front plane. Thank you. Okay, wow, it took a while. So in this one, I'm gonna try some new constraints. So you can't see them, but they're all the way on the right over here. There's some more over here, right? You can't see them on mine, but they're there. There's a few of them, right? So we're going to make, I'm going to make 3 lines, okay? So 3 lines. I think if you enter, I think you have this. Okay, so another line. And okay, it wants to keep drawing, so escape, line, line, escape, a new line. So here's 3 lines, right? In any order, not intersecting though. So I'm going to escape. Okay, so the first constraint I like to put on this, I'm going to measure this one out and say, let's say 75, right? So the first constraint I like to put on them is that they are equivalent. So there's a tool over here, there's a constraint which says equal. So I'm going to select this line and that line, and now you see this one's 75 also. I'm going to do the same thing with these two, right? So now they're all 75. If I try to measure this one out, it'll be grayed out. You see, if I put 80, let's say, you get a red mark because you made these two equal and now you made this one 80. Well, you can't have both, right? So you can over constrain. So I'm going to undo that and I'm going to delete that. Okay, so don't over constrain. That's what happens if you try to do too much. So these are all now 75. Now the nice thing is if I change this one to 80, they all should change to 80 because they're all equal. Okay, next thing, I like to make them parallel. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say parallel, right? And I'm going to select this one, and these two should be parallel. I'm going to select that one and that one. So now they're all parallel. I'm going to draw a construction line. So a construction line doesn't affect the drawing. So I'm going to click construction line, and I'm going to draw a line over here. It doesn't really matter, somewhere away from everything, right? So escape. I like to make these lines coincident to this construction line. Coincident means that they're in this point and will be in the same location. So watch this. I'm going to go to coincident, right? It's coincident. I'm going to make this point coincident on that line. So the line moved. I'm going to make this point coincident to that line. Okay, so that point is on that line. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this one. So now all these 3 points are on that line, coincident. Okay, so that's another constraint. I'm going to move this up a little bit. I like to now have the distance between this, measure the distance. So I'm going to press D. I'm going to measure the distance between these two, select 2 lines, and I'm going to put, let's say, 25. Right? I'm going to do the same thing over here, and I'm going to make it 25. I think that's all I want to do. So these lines are parallel, right? They're also congruent, and they're coincident with that line right there.